This is the Gorilla Grow Tent, the world's first height-adjusting grow tent, quite considerably the best grow tent on the market. To start off, it features 1680D threaded count, very, very dense. It's 3 to 9 times denser than any single grow tent on the market. Most grow tents are between 200 and 900. What that means is it runs a little bit quieter, completely light tight, and it's very strong. It will not rip or tear. It's very durable, and it insulates your room very well as well. You could have a light right next to it and you couldn't feel the heat whatsoever, so it's a very good insulator. Features a window, so you can easy access window. That is a nice feature, so if you don't want to disturb your plants, you just want to peek in, that's that. Another great feature of the Gorilla Grow Tents is the door. When you open the door, it has a latch for the Velcro to hang there, so you can keep it out, and it has different ones throughout the over here. And another good feature about all the tents is they have a tool pouch. You put all your supplies in. Another feature is that you can actually zip all the way around. 360-degree access. So in the larger rooms, the 5x9, the 9x9, you can access every single part of your room.
You need to pull your tray out to clean it. That seems like a lot easier than some of the other tents I've seen.
Yeah, a lot easier. And
speaking of tray, a lot of the grow tents, guys want to grow, especially with these 5x5s, because that's the dimension of this. They want to grow with 1,000-watt lights. And most of the grow tents aren't really tall enough to have a reservoir, tray, and a 1,000-watt light. And I can see, how tall is this?
This has the extension in. For a limited time, it comes free with the extension. It's 6 feet 11 without the extension. You put the extension poles in, very easy, snaps in. This skirt zips all the way around, and it takes it up to 7 feet 11. So any standard ceiling height is usually 8 feet, so it gives you 1 inch of room. And on the top of every single Gorilla Grow tent is lined with infrared blocking material on the top. So it's infrared blocking material. What that also does is it's completely safe if you have a 1,000-watt light and for some reason it overheats and it's only about 1 inch from your ceiling, it's completely protected, completely insulated, where you can't even feel heat at all. So that comes standard with all tents as well.
How tall are you?
I am 6'2".
Okay, so you're pretty tall.
And so what happens too with this extra foot of growth is a lot of times if you have a hydroponics tray, and most tents are only 6.5, usually most tents are either this tall, 6.5, or the tallest one is 7. And a lot of times if you have a tray or some type of hydroponic system and a good reflector, you're only looking at growing your plants about this tall. You can almost double your plant height. It's about 30% bigger plants with that extra foot extension. So increase your yields greatly with this tent. And not only that, we mentioned a 1,000-watt light being put in here. With that extra foot, it is where all the heat goes. So it runs a lot cooler than other tents as well. And looking inside, paid a lot of attention to where the holes are located. A lot of grow tent have some really awkward turns where when you duct your lights, you have to do 90-degree turns, which greatly...
Yeah, they typically put them in these corners here.
Yeah, the corners you have to do 90 degree. It greatly diminishes. It's really hard to cool your lights when you have turns. So this is completely ready for closed loop system. All the holes are 10 inches and they all cinch down all the way down to 0. So if you don't want any of these holes, they completely cinch down to nothing. So if you have 4-inch ductings, anything all the way up to 10. And there's one on the inside and outside, so it's completely light tight. It's by far the strongest tent on the market because I'm about 200 pounds, and you could have, it holds up to safely around 300-400 pounds. So you can actually hang a carbon filter. In our bigger tents, you can actually put a light mover, as heavy reflectors as you want. It's very, very safe.
Yeah, excellent. It's like when you're running your ductwork that you don't have 90s, the HVAC guys say for every 90-degree angle in a duct line, you can easily lose 10 to 15% of your airflow. So being the fact that most folks are obviously going to run the reflectors here, having the duct ports on both sides, it's perfect that they put it smack in the middle because you can duct right out of your tent without creating that 90, just as he stated.
And what's a great feature about the very, very dense stitching is the pool tent. It's actually the first pool tent that actually works. Most pool tents, they'll rip right away or they'll leak. They aren't completely sealed. These are very durable pools, so it's very, very safe. If you have any water spills, which is always inevitable with hydroponics, this one unit alone can hold, I think it's around 120 gallons. So your entire reservoir could be flooded and it'll be still safe.
Wow. And it looks like we have our ports for all of our electrical lines and our
electrical lines.
cords.
And another thing too is these are bug resistant micro lined air intakes. You can have these come on. You can manipulate them where you can have just have some air come in so it comes through, protects it from mold, getting some bugs in there. And this back door port, if you ever need it, the doors do zip all the way around, but just another feature. Another feature, it's the only tent that's called diamond reflective technology. What it does is when you're growing tents, you actually want to scatter your light rays. You don't want, it's not necessarily best to just have them bounce off right away. You actually want to scatter them.
Yeah, you want to refract it.
Yeah, so what this is, it doesn't, yeah, there's just minor little.
I can tell that the quality of this Mylar finish is a little better than some of the other tents where you could tell it's going to peel off really quickly. This stuff you could tell is adhered pretty well to the fabric.
Yeah, it's very well.
And as you said, this is what, 6 to 9 times thicker than a lot of the other name brand tents out there?
Yeah, the thickest tent on the market before this one was 600, and this is 1680.
Oh wow!
So it's 3 times thicker.
3 times thicker than the thickest tent on the market.
And most other ones are 200, and those always rip. They have tons of light leaks, rip right, and you get them out of the bag.
So we got our windows here, and I can see we got 2 windows in the front doors, and it looks like you guys put Velcro all across so you could even open them and allow them to hold open.
Yep, and then they zip up, they Velcro back up, so completely light tied as well.
Can we talk a little bit about the zippers themselves?
The zippers is a very important feature. A lot of tents, your zipper is what goes out, and that's once your zipper's out, you're pretty screwed. This is one of the biggest zippers on the market. Very, very durable, very smooth. It stays locked. There's little overlaps to make sure there's no light leaks anywhere. Little Velcros all over the top, so it's very light proof as well. And it's also, you have properly ventilated room. It's completely odor resistant as well. There's no leaks coming through or some weird off gases or anything like that. So it's a very clean tent as well.
Look at the poles inside here. I can tell they're not the size of a standard pole that you would get in a grow tent. They look a lot wider.
They are a lot wider. These are usually most tents poles for 5x5 are about 2/3 the size of that. And for our 9x9 and 5x9 are very, very strong as well. Our 9x9 you can hold total around 600 pounds throughout the
It's
roof.
funny, in my Secret Jargon video, we actually gave a tip to the customer, which was before you put your fabric over your tent, when you just have the framework up, we recommend that you tape these joints together so they don't come apart when you're pulling the fabric over. But these folks went one step further, and they went ahead and integrated a nice locking mechanism in there. So all the corners, and just so you know, the corner pieces are metal, not plastic.
Yeah.
They all lock into each other. That's beautiful. That makes it really easy to pull the fabric over. Because of the size of the gardens, you know, we definitely test and review products. We're lucky enough to have manufacturers come to us and let us know when there's new products coming out in the market. And sometimes we can easily recognize when a product is uniquely better than all of its predecessors. And I can see that this one is definitely not just the tallest, the strongest, the thickest tent, but it also has a lot of features that the other tents have with different manufacturers, but they've combined all those features into one grow tent. So these tents will be available for sale at Monster Gardens as individual items, and you can also buy them in the grow room packages. But here with Gorilla Grow tents, you definitely have the capability to grow the largest plants that we've ever seen possible in a grow tent.
So the different sizes we sell as of now are 2x2.5, 2x4. This is the 5x5. 5x9 and the 9x9.
Oh, perfect.
And the 2x2.5 is actually 5'11", that goes to 6'11". All other sizes go from 6'11" to 7 feet 11, and it comes for limited time. It comes free with the extension kit to make it up to 8 feet, and it comes with a 1-year warranty as well.